Have you ever wondered how to deal with suffering calmly without letting it consume your inner peace? Or how to be patient with those around you, even when they test your patience? Jesus teaches us that, in the midst of suffering and the challenges of human relationships, we can find calmness and wisdom to act with serenity and love. The way he faced pain and dealt with the failures of those around him gives us a lesson in profound peace and constant patience. During the crucifixion, we see a powerful example of how Jesus responded to extreme suffering with remarkable calmness. After being betrayed, unjustly accused, beaten, and humiliated, he was sentenced to one of the most painful and humiliating deaths of that time: crucifixion. Even in the face of such pain and physical suffering, he remained serene and focused on God. At the moment he was nailed to the cross, instead of screaming, cursing, or blaming, Jesus spoke words of forgiveness and mercy. "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Luke 23:34. This reaction from Jesus is an extraordinary example of calmness and unconditional love. At the height of his pain, when it would have been understandable for him to turn against his tormentors, he chose compassion. He saw suffering as an opportunity to demonstrate love and intercede for those who were hurting him. The peace Jesus demonstrated is not the absence of pain, but the presence of a greater love that transcends suffering. The calmness of Jesus amidst pain challenges us to rethink our own reactions to suffering. How often, when faced with difficulty, are we tempted to react with anger, bitterness, or despair? Jesus shows us that even in moments of deep pain, we can find peace by turning to God instead of focusing solely on our pain. His calmness reveals complete trust in God's purpose and a love that is not shaken by circumstances. Another fundamental aspect that Jesus teaches us is patience with the failures of others. Throughout his ministry, he was constantly surrounded by disciples who, despite being by his side, did not always understand his message. They argued among themselves, competed for positions of prominence, and even fled when he needed them most. Yet, Jesus always treated them with patience and love, even in the face of their limitations and weaknesses. An example of this is at the Last Supper, when Jesus knew that Peter would deny him and that Judas would betray him. Even aware of these failures, he remained calm, shared the bread and wine with all of them, and offered them words of encouragement. He did not condemn, but chose to love. This patience of Jesus with his disciples shows that he did not expect perfection, but understood that the process of learning and growth is continuous and requires compassion. Jesus' patience with others teaches us that calmness is also an active choice. Instead of reacting to the first mistake or error of others, he chose to wait, give new opportunities, and offer guidance with love. This example invites us to reflect on how we deal with the failures of those around us, whether in our family, at work, or among friends. How often are we quick to judge or demand? Jesus calls us to adopt a posture of patience, recognizing that everyone is in a process of growth. When we are patient with others, we are practicing true calmness. This patience reflects the love of Jesus, which allows us to see people with a compassionate perspective. Jesus knew that his disciples had weaknesses, but he also knew that, over time, they would mature and understand his message. This is a lesson that patience is a form of trust. Trust that, in the right time, everyone will find their way. The way Jesus reacted to suffering and the failures of others is a call for us to also develop this calmness. He shows us that love and patience are not just for peaceful moments, but, above all, for difficult times. His life is a testimony that true calmness comes from a heart full of love and faith in God. Jesus' patience was unshakable because he knew that his love for others was greater than their failures. He did not let others' mistakes disturb him, but continued to offer guidance and love. He believed in the potential of each person and trusted that, over time, truth and love would prevail. This patience with others teaches us not to lose our calmness when those around us fail or disappoint us. Life is a process, and we are all on a journey of learning. When we have the calmness of Jesus, we can look beyond failures and see the value each person has. In the end, Jesus teaches us that true calmness in the face of suffering and patience with others come from a heart that fully trusts in God. He invites us to follow His example, facing our pains with serenity and treating others with patience and love. In this way, the calmness we find is not superficial, but a reflection of deep faith. If this reflection on the calmness of Jesus in the face of suffering and His patience with others has brought you a new understanding, know that we are just beginning. This is the 5th episode of a special series of 6 videos, where we explore the serenity of Jesus in challenging situations and its impact on our own lives. To follow the upcoming episodes and continue this journey of learning, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell to be notified of the next lessons. And if you are curious about other teachings of Jesus, or would like to explore other themes, leave your suggestion in the comments. Thank you for your presence, and see you in the next video of this series.